Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the interview questions that were asked in Salesforce company. But before we get started, let us thank our subscriber who has shared us this question so that it can be of help to others who are watching. So thank you, dear subscribers, and let us get started. So the first question was, what are REST APIs? So REST APIs are, very important. They allow us to control the server, make it easy to access. So by definition, if at all I want to talk or tell, Tableau server REST APIs allows us to manage or change Tableau server, Tableau cloud site, or prep, you know programmatically using HTTP, which means they give you a simple access to the functionality behind the data sources, projects, workbooks, site, user site, flow, and more. So they are making your access to server and behind the screens easy. So that is why they are called as APIs. So that is the first question. Next is how to use level of detail expressions in Tableau, provide a use case. Now we all know that LOD means level of detail expressions we tell. Okay, and then we talk about different LODs that we have available. Like say we tell exclude, include, and fixed, and table scoped. Now apart from this, what are the real-time use cases that we can use? We can use to find out the first orders or last orders, or new customers or existing customers, to get you know a unique record. Like say on a given date, okay, assume on a given date you have multiple entries, but client is insisting that you need only the first entry for that particular day for that customer. Like say I have a customer name called as Rahul, and on a particular date, like say 26th of June, okay, on 26th of June this guy has made three transactions. Okay, so but client said that okay, I don't need those three transactions, I need only the first transaction, or the minimum of all of these transactions, or the maximum of all of these transactions, or average or total of these transactions. Then for all of, so technically you will have three entries in your database against this user on a particular day, right? So we need to get, like say here I'm writing 100, and here it would be 200, and here it would be 500. So now we might do certain analysis in real time where user might tell I need only this value, or I need only this value, or a total of this value. Then in that cases we will use LOD functions. We will use LOD functions to filter some values. Okay, so like say we are finding new customers and old customers, we are using LOD functions to find out overall average values and all. So there are many use cases that we can do. I think we have already created a dedicated video on this. I will post that video in the description box. You can definitely watch that. They are the most commonly used scenarios in real time. Okay, and you can definitely practice that, and as you practice you might be able to explore more insights on LOD. So when you are working with LOD, it is very important you understand the granularity of your data, and how aggregations are working when you are applying different types of LOD expressions. Okay, so you can talk about all of this, or you can try to explain the concept behind LOD expressions whenever you get such question. Okay, it is more about explaining a particular scenario that you have implemented in your project, while discussing about the different types of LOD expressions that are available. So this is a little tough question because if I ask you the types of LOD expressions, you might be able to answer. But if I ask you to provide a use case and explain or when will you use an LOD expressions, I think many of our subscribers said that they have not given a satisfactory answer to such questions. So spend some time on this, it will definitely help you. Okay, next is explain window function. Window function means it is clearly specifying that window, okay, on a given window or a given offset range, how, what are you trying to calculate, like say window sum I'm telling. So I'm trying to specify that on a particular window or a particular partition of my data, I'm trying to do an aggregation called as sum or average, like that. So for that we can play with different functions that are available. So if I try to create a calculated field and if I search for window, so these are the different window functions that are available. So window average we have, window count we have, max, min and all. So for a given offset range, what is the average value? For a given offset range, what is the maximum value? What is the minimum value? Like that. Okay. So this is all about the window functions. Again, very important these days, a lot I'm seeing frequent question on window expression. So you can spend some time in exploring these functions, and if you need any topic, do comment in the comment section. I'll try to create it. Okay. There are already many in the pipeline, like say you all wanted about projects, you all wanted about uh, this thing, then I'm trying to prepare that and they are in the queue, and I have multiple questions from different interviews. I think there are 100 questions in the pipeline that are coming in from Salesforce. I think we have LTI, Mindtree, and again uh, okay, so I'm not remembering the name, but we have 3 to 4 companies that are in the pipeline. I'll try to post it as early as possible. Next is what is the describe the execution process of filter in Tableau. Now, when it comes to filter, order of execution is very important. We know the definition, like we know what are the different types available and all. But when you have multiple filters in place, how you know does the filter apply? Okay, that we need to talk about here. Okay, so like say you know this is the first like we have extract filters, we have data source filters, we have context, dimension, measure and table calculation filters. These are the different filters available. So the first filter that will get executed is extract filter. On top of that extract filter, the next filter that will get executed is data source filters. Okay, so extract filters are different, data source filters are different. Okay, so if after data source filter is applied, so you can consider these two as the first, because for not for all the data sources we might have extract filters, only for few. Now if it is a real live database, then obviously we will use data source filters, right? So data source filters will get applied first, then context filters, obviously, because the nature of it is to make filters dependent, right? So this will get executed, and whatever the result is coming on top of that, we are going to apply dimensional filters and then measure filters. So in between this, if there are any filters like say LOD filters or top n or conditional filters or sets, then that will get applied, and then dimensions. So and then include or exclude filter will get applied, and then measure filters and table calculations. So you need to talk about the step-by-step execution of these different types of filters if this question is being asked. What is incremental refresh and how is it implemented? So incremental refresh means, suppose if the volume of data that you are working with is very huge. So generally when we try to set up an extract and we want to refresh that, it usually creates the extract every time, right? Whenever you are trying to refresh the extract, it will create that extract, right, by deleting the existing records. So if it is a limited records, then it should not be an issue. But if the volume of transaction is very huge, then in that case we might need to use incremental refresh, because every day we cannot truncate a table or a temporary file with millions of records and recreate that file again. So that is not a healthy process for the system as well. So we can use this incremental process. Okay, so using this, so you can click on this incremental refresh and select this field called as incremental refresh, and then choose the table. We have orders table. I'm choosing that. And when you choose that, you need to specify the column that you want Tableau to use to identify new records. So preferably it would be a primary key column, like say order date, or your IDs. Those kind of columns you can use, and you can set up your incremental refresh process. So what it does is, every time it will try to identify if there are any new records that are available, and based on that it will bring only those new records into the view. So that is about incremental refresh. Now differentiate between YTD, MTD, QTD, PYTD, and in the context of analytics. So like I said in my previous video, YTD means year till date, which means we need all the sales in the particular year or in the current year till today. Till date means till today. Like say, if at all I want to find out YTD for 2024, I will try to take the sales of all the months from January till June 26, and not anything beyond that, because we are in June 26. So we need to consider that is your year till date calculation. But if I say MTD, month till date, which means I only need my sales in my current month, but till today only. That is your month date. Same likewise for quarter, in your current quarter till today's date, previous year till date. So again, previous year till date means whatever the time period that you are trying to calculate here, you should take the same period, but it should be for previous year till date. Like say I'm trying to calculate YTD for 24. So what are the time periods I'll consider? 1 to June 2024 I'll consider, right? So till today. Likewise, same 1 to June 2023 I need to consider. That will be your previous year till date, because we want to compare the same time periods here, right? So in one use case you are considering only for current time period till today, and if I go to previous year till date, you are taking up the entire year. Then that in that situation, your calculation or the number of time periods that you are trying to compare would be incorrect. So you should not be doing that. So let me know if at all you need a dedicated video on this. I'll try to create it by explaining you how to build a code for this, because building a code is very important. I think in last to 5 interviews, they have asked to write the logic. Now, if you're not in that state where you can write the logic for this, consider this as a negative point for this for you. Okay, so please prepare for these questions. Same likewise, previous year month till date. Okay, so that is one reason I'm trying to create short videos for you guys, so that you can watch that video in a minute, and and you can remember the calculation. I hope that is helping you. How do you retrieve latitude and longitudinal information for a geographical data in Tableau? Now we in Tableau, if I go, we have an option called as maps. Okay, so from here we can import whatever we want, or we can try to find out the calculation. So if I go to location and if I try to use state here, and we can click on edit location, and if I click on this, and here, from here we can write the latitude and longitudinal information, and if we want this, we can go to Google and get it, or you can import the locations as well. Okay, so whatever you want, you can do it. That's about latitude and longitudinal information. Explain the use of row level security. So row level security means providing security to your data. So we have already seen different scenarios or different ways where we can apply a security using different approaches. Okay, this will increase the security on your data by specifying like what is the column that you want to, you know, secure about. Like say region is there, based on region I want to apply filter to whoever is logging in. I want to display only that cell, so I will, give access to only few managers for each region, so that whenever they are trying to log in, based on the access that they have to the field, only that part of the data will be visible to them, rest will get filtered out. So that is how we can work on row level security. We can use a DB approach, we can use a calculation approach. So there are multiple ways we can do that. So you need to be aware of all of that process. Next is compare use cases for context filter and cascading filter. So context filters, like I said, will make the behavior of the filters dependent. So by default, if I'm trying to uh, apply multiple filters here, like say I'm taking category here, sorry, I'm taking category here and subcategory again. These are independent filters, right? But if at all I want them to be working together, then I will make them context, add to context. Now what happens? I'm forcing Tableau to execute this filter first. Now after this filter is getting executed, whatever the results are coming out from this filter shelf, only that result set will be passed on to this subcategory, and subcategory will function based on that. That is your context filter. Whereas cascading filter is little different. Okay, it is about the filters that you are trying to show in the view. Like say I have these filters, I want these filters to always work, in concatenation. Like say whatever I am selecting here, furniture, based on that only I want to display my subcategory items. I don't want other subcategory items. Then I will always click on this and I will show only relevant values. Okay, then only it will work. Otherwise it will work something like this. Irrespective of what I choose in the category, it will show me all of the values. That will confuse the end user, but if I select this, it will show me only relevant values. So that is your cascading filter. Okay, and this is your context filters. I hope it is clear for you guys. Next is, what does empty extract mean in Tableau? Now generally when the volume of data is very huge, your extracts might take a lot of time to create, or your workbook might take a lot of time to get published to the server. So what do we do is, we try to create an empty extract locally, and after publishing it to the server, we just remove that filter so that it can pull the data from the server directly. So instead of creating a load on our personal machine or load on the local machine or on the local desktop, because here bandwidth is limited, we have speed is limited, and also we don't want that to happen, and it take a lot of time or consume our time. So we go to server and let the process happen server to server here. So that way you are already optimizing the performance, because server speed is different than the local desktop speed, right? So chances are that it will pick up the data faster than your local machine. So what does user acceptance testing involve in Tableau projects? Now this is one phase and one critical phase of every project that you are developing. So what happens, generally we develop reports, right? So we all know that after developing, what do? We do a testing from a developer perspective, right? Just to ensure that things are in line, right? So after that testing is completed, users will come into picture. Okay, or testing team will come into picture. So there are chances that end users might also come into picture to test the report. Okay, so like say if the expectation is that 100 users will use your report, so in UAT at least 10 to 10 users might come, important or critical users of the business will come and validate or use your reports. Now they will check all the functionality, they'll check the data, they'll verify the data, they'll check the visualizations and all. So if they feel everything is good, apart from testing team doing their testing and validating everything, if they feel things are in fine, they will give a sign off. That is called as user acceptance test. So users are accepting whatever you have built is good for them, they are ready to use that. So that is UAT sign off. Okay, once it is done, I think this is the last phase of testing. Once it is done, you are ready to move your reports to production. So do let me know if at all you want a dedicated video, or you can connect with me on a mock session. I can explain you how the internal insights are there for the projects. You can connect with me there. It will be a 1 hour session where I'll explain you different things or different types of projects and all. So explain the steps involved in deploying a Tableau project. Okay, so I think we all know first is requirement gathering, right? After that, we development, again testing, and then migrating. Okay, so these are the steps in general that we can talk about, steps involved in deploying a project. Okay, how do you identify and display top 5 and bottom 5 in a data set? I think there are multiple ways. We can use set, we can use rank to calculate top 5 and bottom 5 in a Tableau. Okay, so I think that's it from my side in this video. I hope you have learned something new. If it does, don't forget to leave your valuable feedback. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and have a good day.